What role has collaboration played to help you with those demos, with those moments where you're like, oh crap, I can't do this. I can't meet the deadline. I can't, get the sound that they're looking for. How much have other people helped you in that process?
I have an engineer. I have a couple of engineers that I work with. On the video game side, I've probably only worked with, well, I've actually worked with a bunch of engineers on the video game side. And so I consider myself to be a good mixer, a good engineer, but I'm not an engineer. And so I feel like I get it to 80%, which often is good enough for sending sketches. I just did a huge Capcom project for next year. It's a new IP. It's not volume 5 of something. And the music was so insanely complicated that I definitely worked pretty closely with my engineer. But instead of the typical way of working with an engineer, like in film and video, in film and TV, I write it, I print out every track as a stem, I send it, they load it into their Pro Tools because they all like to mix in Pro Tools. But I can't do that in video games. So I have my engineer come and mix in my DAW, which is Logic. And then when they're done mixing, I take one more pass at it myself creatively. It's often when I'll decide to thin things out, take out things that get too crowded. My tendency is to overwrite. So my final step is usually to remove things as brutally as possible in some cases.
That's clever. Well, I know that
other than working with orchestras, soloists, guitar players, drummers, that sort of thing, which we typically do by file exchange and engineering, that's pretty much it. I mean, on the games that I've collaborated on, quote unquote, I write my cues and they write their cues, and we don't really write together. Although we'll give each other feedback. Somebody will, one of my writing partners will say, oh, I really like the thing you did in that scene. Maybe you should try that here. So, it's nice to have that kind of camaraderie creatively to say, what if?